Hey there, come on in. Let's show you around. So right in here is where we have our adjusting areas. They're both the same on each side. We have our X-ray suite in the back. It's where we get our structural analysis taken care of, to where we can see what's going on inside, see if there's any issues that need to be taken care of. If you call the office, you'll probably talk to her. This is our reception area, and we've got some simple toys for the kids to play with, and that's pretty much it. Very simple. We have a good outdoor space for people to play. If they drive for a long time, we have a lot of people that drive for over an hour to get here. So we like to give them a little bit of a break. So we opened up our first office in Savannah in 2017, and we continually tweaked and grew and served more and more people until we had to eventually get a new space. The goal of our office each day, straight leg raise, and other side, is to make sure that everything's as balanced as possible so that their body can function as efficiently as possible. And Glinda is in the CrossFit Open, so we've got to make sure that everything is functioning at 100% so that she can win. Let's go arm back, this hand back. When I was about 10 years old, I had some type of injury to my back, and so I started seeing a chiropractor when I was much younger than a lot of people that I knew. And so I actually already had experience with pediatric chiropractic, but I was an athlete. I did martial arts, and I did very high level fighting for a while. We used chiropractic to help in our performance. And so I did my undergrad bachelor's degree in exercise science, and actually got on with an office working with professional athletes from the Phillies, the Eagles, and the Falcons, and we were in Atlanta. And then my roommate at the time, she was starting up the pediatrics club on campus. So since I was her roommate, I had to go, even though my plan was to work with professional athletes. And I remember one of my friends and mentors, he was there, I didn't know him at the time, was talking about in his practice, there was a couple of month-old baby that came in and had been diagnosed failure to thrive. They were about to put a tube in to help this child feed because he couldn't feed from a bottle, couldn't feed from the breast. And as a last resort, they were taking their baby to this doctor. And so he had lightly adjusted it, and the baby immediately, when mom picked him up and tried to feed, baby immediately latched and latched well and fed well and didn't need the tube. And from then right there, I was like, man, I'm sitting there, massaging ankles for pro athletes. It's really cool to say you work with pro athletes, but really the impact of helping babies eat and crawl and roll and thrive, to me, is just much more impactful. What we're looking at is the skin temperature difference on their neck, and it should be the same on both sides. And so what that means is that they have proper brainstem control of the blood vessels in their neck, and the part of the brain that controls those blood vessels is the brainstem. You don't care about the specific nucleus, but if there's tension on the brainstem, it won't be symmetrical.
So we have two awesome little boys. Ryan is 3.5, and we were totally surprised by his pregnancy. And people often ask me kind of how pregnancy was for me. I get that question a lot, especially when I was full-time behind the front desk. The pregnant moms would come in. I was pregnant the last time I was behind the desk full-time. And I honestly attribute a lot of being under chiropractic care to having these really amazing pregnancies. But Ryan was actually born 8 weeks early, and so we intended to have him at the birth center in town, but unfortunately, he was a little impatient, and we ended up having him pretty early, and he spent some time in the NICU, and it was definitely an intense experience.
Before we had Ryan, we had many patients that had been through the NICU. At that moment, it's really, oh, okay, then that's kind of it. Like, okay, so we understand your baby was in the hospital for a while, very emotional, whatever. But when you have gone through it, where we were living in the hospital for a month, and it's an entirely different thing. It's something that it's really hard to describe to people how stressful it is. Going through what we consider a traumatic experience made it definitely more real to us, but also I think it helps our connection with our families, and experience makes us better able to serve and help the people who have gone through the same things as us.
So something that is a little bit different about our office is that we are the only board certified pediatric chiropractor in Savannah. And where that starts is really during pregnancy. So we do see a lot of pregnant moms. The point of that is for them to have more comfortable, easy births is a really big aspect of chiropractic care during pregnancy. That birth process being shorter and easier for both mom and baby, and then also recovery. A lot of people forget that after you have a baby, there's a lot of work to be done with your body and getting it back to where it needs to be. So postpartum care is just as important as prenatal care.
I love the community aspect because there's so many things you might not know, especially as a new mom. Whether it's when you're pregnant and you're going through something, whether it's leg pain, carpal tunnel, neck pain, not sleeping, you hear someone else talking to Dr. Caleb about it, and then you don't feel so weird like, oh, I thought that was just me. I wasn't gonna bring it up because I thought it was just a me thing, not a pregnancy thing or a new baby thing.
We really love having our patient base help our patient base, which is why there are no walls in our office. If one person's asking us a question, everybody hears the answer. And so that in itself really helps bring our community closer, our patient base closer, and we're there, we see them frequently, so it's not, a once a month or once every 6 month or yearly visit. We're really getting to know what's going on in their family and how to best help.